Mexico's transformed over the last 3 decades, mostly in good ways. It's moved from a closed authoritarian system to a vibrant, if at times messy, democracy. It's moved from a closed economy to one of the most open in the world and one that's increasingly competitive globally. It's also seen the rise of a middle class. And now we see a majority of Mexicans who have disposable income, and that in turn is fueling economic growth in the country through consumption. So many things are moving in the right direction, but we've also seen during this period a rise in violence, a real crisis on the security side. In the last 5 years, we've seen 50,000 people killed in drug and organized crime-related violence. Much of this is led by drug trafficking into the United States, but it's become so much more. We see growing extortion, we see kidnapping, we see contraband, we see human smuggling, and these prey upon the general population within Mexico.
There are many drivers to this crisis. One is government policy, but not only government policy. The increase in inter-cartel violence probably began in 2004, 2005, but it was at a relatively low level. December 2006 is when President Calderón decided to launch the first massive federal operation against drug trafficking organizations.
Sé que restablecer la seguridad no será fácil ni rápido, que tomará tiempo, que costará mucho dinero e incluso, y por desgracia, vidas humanas.
When the government offensive began in 2007, you had basically 4 or 5 criminal organizations. Over the past 5 years, you have had an atomization and a series of splits and schisms within the organizations. And what you have is no longer cartels, but gangs.
Mexico is a country that has been historically quite unequal. You see poverty in many areas. Mexico has been improving, but there still are millions that are left on the margin. And those are the types of populations that the drug cartels or gangs look to and often recruit from. There's a popular saying in Mexico that it's better to live 5 years as a king, as a rey, than 50 years as an ox, as a buey. And the idea here is that the opportunities for the long term, for particularly poorer youth, is so limited that it's better to go with the narcos now and be a narco king than just be a laborer who would live a long time. And so the challenge for the Mexican government is to turn that equation around.
It's also a crisis of Mexican security and justice institutions that have shown themselves quite unable to deal with this level of violence. You have very either weak, incompetent, or corrupt police forces at the state and particularly at the municipal level. You have a judicial system where prosecutors are driven to obtain confessions and not to investigate. Most of the prisons are disaster area. There's a significant weakness in every step of the way of the local justice and security system.